Now we begin with the part 1, the multiple choice question part of the exam scheme. Please note, I will do the direct and shortcut methods to solve this part because it is in the multiple choice question format. If you want the detailed explanations, please go to the lesson explanations in the playlist. The question 1 is to find critical numbers of a given function. The method to solve critical number is just the same. You need to derive the given function and make the derived part equal to 0 and solve it. That's it. Now I will show you in a minute, but before that, here they have told to find what does that represent, whether the critical number represents local maximum or minimum or neither. So in order to do this, we have different methods. If it is x to the power 2, I will tell you the double derivative method is the easiest. But if it is more than x power 2, then I will show you another method in the next problem. So now, just derive this f dash of x. What happens here? It will be minus 2x plus 4. Now make this part equal to 0 and solve it. Minus 2x plus 4. You can take minus 2x to the other side. It becomes plus 2x equals 4. X is equal to 2. We have found the critical number. This is the critical number. But we don't know whether it's the maximum point or minimum point or what does it represent. Now, in order to solve this, for this particular problem, it's a parabola, right? If you know the graph of parabola, you can tell minus x squared is opening downwards, it will have a maximum point. You can directly do that as well. Otherwise, so that is the easiest of all. See, plus x squared will open upwards. So this should have minimum point. This should have maximum point. That's the easiest of all the methods. But otherwise, you can just do double derivative. Double derive this. F dash of x is already there. Double derive it. You're going to get minus 2. If this is minus 2, that means it's less than 0. Whenever double derivative is less than 0, it will open up downward. I mean, it's concaving downwards. That means it has a maximum point. So this is maximum. In your options, you will have x is equal to maximum, x is equal to minimum. So you need to choose x is equal to maximum point. That's how we solve it. Here we have minimum point because it's positive. It will open up upwards. And this is the critical number, minimum. Here x is equal to 2, maximum. Now let's do this problem here. Now, for these methods, these problems and higher powers, please follow the method which I teach you now. Just derive it and find the critical numbers first. It will be minus 3x squared plus 6x. Make this equal to 0. You'll have minus 3x squared plus 6x equals 0. We can use the calculator to solve quadratics easily. You need to go to mode, phi and 3. Put in the coefficients of x squared first. It's minus 3. Then for x, it's... Now, I have written this wrong. It's not 6. I just realized it over here. This is x squared. 2 comes down, multiplies with 6. It becomes 12. So the coefficient of x is 12. And then there is no constant term at 0. So the answer is 4 and 0. We have the critical numbers of x is equal to 4 and 0. Now, how do you know which is maximum, which is minimum? This is not closely bound or anything. So these are the only critical points. So what you need to do is this given function, not the derived one, the given function, original equation, just substitute this as f of 4 and then you can substitute as f of 0. After that, f of 0. And then solve it up. So how would you do it? Since you have two numbers, instead of putting 4, replacing x as 4 and then 0, it will take time. The easier method is go to computation mode, type this equation minus alpha x cube, then we have plus 6 alpha x squared and plus 2. Now, don't press equal to, you won't get anything. Press calc and put in the value of 4. What is this? It's 34. Remember this. You can write it out over here. And then calc at 0. It'll be the constant term. That's 2. So here we got 34 and here we got 2. Now which is maximum? 4. This is maximum point and 0 is minimum point. So from this method we can easily tell which is maximum and minimum. You can see x is equal to 4 is local maximum because it has a higher value, whereas 0 had a minimum value. You can try these problems by yourselves. I will do, this was just done, cubic. I'll do one more type. If it is powerful, I'll just do this one over here. The first problem, just derive this first quickly. It'll be 4x cubed minus 4x, and that becomes 0. Now equate it to 0, 4x cubed minus 4x. You can directly factor it and solve for x as well, but I'll just use calculator, which is more easier. Here we need to go to more phi, and 2 doesn't work because it's cubic. So go to more phi 4. And now type in the coefficient of x cubed is 4. There is no x square term, so it's 0, and then x is minus 4, and then we have 0 again. The answer is 1, minus 1, and 0. We have three numbers now, three critical numbers. 1, minus 1, 0. We need to substitute f of 1, f of minus 1, and f of 0 and find which is maximum, which is minimum, and which is neither. So what you need to do is type this equation over here in terms of x. That is alpha x, and type it out over here. And then you need to press calc and start checking for these values. I will start with 1. It is 0 if I have 1. Now let me start with calc minus 1. Again it is 0. So now these both values, I got 0 and 0. So they are equal. If they are maximum, both are maximum. If they are minimum, both are minimum. And let's check for calc of 0, and it's 1. So this is the maximum point, and these both are minimum points. That is how we can easily solve it up. You can see here plus and minus 1 and 0 are critical numbers. The plus and minus 1 were minimum. Why? Because the value was 0, whereas x is equal to 0 is maximum, local maximum, because we got 1 as the answer. Same way you can solve it up. That's the end of this topic. If you have any doubts, any questions, please post them in the comments.